Welcome to Hospitality Asia channel on HAPA TV. I'm Jennifer Ong, and we're here at the exclusive interview segment where we host interviews with top industry players on their success stories. Today, we're here with Christian Nannucci, Complex General Manager of PARKROYAL Collection Kuala Lumpur and Pan Pacific Service Suites. And Christian will share with us today why of all time he chose to walk on the journey of opening hotels during the pandemic. Let's hear from Christian. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Jennifer.
Season's greetings. Welcome to HAPA TV. And thank you so much for making time just to come back from.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Definitely, you're going to be a key player to really help us to relaunch the industry in Malaysia. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, you know, with the magazine being on like, what now, 28 years. And at 26 years, you know, we had to sort of shut down because of pandemic. And we were thinking, oh no, how are we going to start, you know, continue to get voices heard, you know, by the general managers, industry players. And we thought, okay, let's come to digital form, you know.
Absolutely.
To get people talking and get stories told. And talking about pandemic, we really want to hear from you, Christian. I mean, we hear. So we hear, right? Everybody opens hotels and, you know, throughout the last, I don't know how many decades. And you know, there are some people, some general managers who focuses and specializes in hotel opening. But what I really would like to hear from you is, how was your journey like, you know, in opening both hotels? Yeah, not one, two hotels in 6 months. PARKROYAL Collection and, of course, Pan Pacific Service Suites in 2022. So tell us when they were open, why did you choose to open now, and you know, what was it like?
I mean, Jennifer, I think when I was offered this opportunity, for me, I said it has to be done. Yeah, I think it's a unique opportunity to open such an incredible business model during pandemic. Mm. We opened the PARKROYAL Collection on the 1st of June, officially, 2022. Mm-hmm. And the Pan Pacific Service Suite fall on the 1st of December, which was just 4 weeks, almost really? 4 weeks ago. Mm. Yeah, and that's the 1st of December, 2022. Yeah.
Right. And so how was the journey like? So during the pandemic was a time that you were preparing for the opening. When did you start? When did you start with planning for the PARKROYAL Collection?
Okay, so we went in phases. Mm-hmm. And first of all, it's about understanding the size of the entity on the project. Mm. So if you look at the PARKROYAL Collection, it's actually a redevelopment of the previous PARKROYAL Hotel. Yeah. The hotel has been completely redeveloped. Mm-hmm. All the facilities are brand new. Mm-hmm. All the facilities are newly created. So that's a redevelopment on an existing structure. Mm-hmm. Where you basically see the outside structure is the same, but all the internal organs have been all redone. Okay, right. So that's extremely important to understand what could be the limitation and how do we overcome those limitations to create the current business model that we've opened already 6 months ago. While from the Pan Pacific Service Suite, the story is slightly different because that's in a completely new building where a previous car park, as you may remember, was there. So it was completely demolished back in 2018. And then it has taken us about 4 years to build. And that's a completely brand new building. Right. Okay. And so there are different phases here. So the first, like I say, is to understand the entity and the magnitude of the project, and then put in a timeline on different phases, how every single phase should be completed, how are we ready to move to the next one, and how do we anticipate the next one, which may happen like 1 month after, 2 months after, 3 months after. So yes, as we were preparing to open the PARKROYAL Collection, the Pan Pacific Service Suite was already also under development. Right. Right. And as you can imagine, it's not just about opening the hotel, it's also about creating the teams, creating the culture, positioning the two brands into KL, and also creating the different concepts of the restaurants and leisure facilities that we already open.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure, Christian, you know, in your years of experience in the hospitality industry, you've opened many other hotels as well. What really is the significant difference between opening a hotel not during crisis and opening a hotel during crisis like that? I mean, this is the first time for you, is it?
Pandemic
Opening during
happens once
pandemic.
every 100 years, correct? So,
Yeah, I mean, I think the SARS and all the previous downtime of hospitality did not have the significant impact as much as this one, right? So what is, really different between opening hotels during this pandemic and, of course, normal times?
I think, as we all know, not just in the hospitality industry, but every industry, many industries have been impacted extremely negatively versus positively, depending on what kind of industry you're on. It's about understanding the magnitude of the crisis. So COVID is a global crisis.
Yeah.
It's a crisis that when it started back in the beginning of 2020, as hotelier, we were looking at forecasting numbers on a short span of 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. We were really forecasting when the different countries will reopen and will restart. We realized that 95% of the times, all these forecasts were completely wrong. Why? Because the crisis were deepening and deepening more and more until we realized it was gonna last very much long. And we were all between lockdowns, restarting, lockdown, restart. So after, let's say, even more than 12 months, somehow we managed to get a bit of the understanding how this crisis would evolve. Well, if you take other kind of global crisis in the past, financial crisis or different level of crisis, company who has a financial means will invest into products because they know within a period of 3 months, 6 months, the economy bounce back. So taking over a project like that, which I started in May 2021, was in between lockdowns. It's basically what I learned from the pandemic. Whatever you decide, there's no right or wrong answers. It's only calculated assumptions, I call it. So we are all gonna open a complex this kind into an unknown future. And we just have to be prepared to have a flexible model that if the way goes more on the left or goes more on the right, you are able to adjust it and still remain on path with your initial goals. And that's what we created, basically. The objective of this complex is to build a sustainable and scalable operation. Okay? So scalable means we've opened it, we actually got the timing almost right. I mean, we opened 1st of June, which is about 2 months after the border reopened. Scalable means that if the market does not come back as per our expectation, the level of our structure is quite lean, and we can still manage the operation based on the level of business we get. As the business grows, we are able to add pieces to it, so we are able to meet the evolvement of the business. Sustainable is that what we've learned from the pandemic, if your cash flow, your resources are not strong enough, you get a crisis like that, becomes very challenging to survive. And I think that's what we learned during pandemic, survival mode. So having a sustainable operation, we're able to increase or decisive it anytime based on the needs of the business. That's the purpose.
I love it. No, I love the fact that, Christian, you touch on the keyword flexibility. And I think in business nowadays, whether it's a hotel or even in any other businesses, it's really important to have a business model that's flexible.
Absolutely.
Right? And you can literally sort of say, okay, let's do this. If there is another lockdown, God forbid, but there's a lockdown, this is what we can do, and it's okay because both will give you the revenue.
Absolutely. I think I can give you our restaurant Time as an example. There's a classic flexible restaurant. A restaurant that can operate at very high demand as a buffet. It can also operate as a standalone restaurant a la carte because of the different specialty chefs that we have, that they can serve Malay, Chinese, India, Western, even Japanese cuisine. So depending on the level of business of Kuala Lumpur, we can increase the size or desize it based on what we do. And they can also serve the catering and banqueting as well, because we can provide all the different private dining cuisine.
Wow. It sounds like Christian is, it runs the hotel with like a Lego set, like a real big Lego set, and start putting them into pieces and take them out, I love that concept. I love that. Okay, so tell us just very quickly about, what's the unique features for both PARKROYAL Collection as well as the Pan Pacific Suites?
I think the differentiator comes, as a Pan Pacific Hotel Group has two brands, let's say, under the same complex. I think with the leadership team, we did quite a few sessions of brainstorming. How do we ensure, first of all, we promote, that we position both brands as a standalone, even though they are next to it, without creating also confusion into the market. That's very important, because we don't want customers to come in and think this is a Pan Pacific, this is a PARKROYAL Collection, or that.
Right.
So I think the first differentiator comes from the branding definition. Okay, so PARKROYAL Collection as a branding under the Pan Pacific Hotel Group falls under the luxury lifestyle category. Okay, it's a eco-chic icon in the heart of the city. And the DNA of the branding comes from iconic design. In fact, when you come in the PARKROYAL Collection, you can clearly see extremely very unique features of the design. Then it comes from eco-friendly and sustainable. It's one of our key points that we are really promoting. So the presence of 13,000 square feet of plants that you can see from the outside balcony in the inside public area give you the sense of biophilia. And if you think about biophilia, it's really when human being and nature connects.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we try to promote. And the third DNA for the collection brand is basically lifestyle or well-being. Okay, we're promoting the way of living. We have a wellness floor on the level 6, where you have the St. Gregory Spa, the Collection Club, the Fit Studio, the gym, and the pool. So we put all these under one umbrella, together also with the spa cuisine that we promote. So when you come to the spa, we also have a spa cuisine menu to make your experience absolutely 100%. So basically creating inspiring experience. While when you go to the Pan Pacific Service Suites, so we are talking more as a classic luxury. So the Pan Pacific brand for Pan Pacific Hotel Group is the top brand, is the one where we create a bespoke and memorable experience, where there are more refined touches, which of course give you an experience which is more refined. And that's what the differentiator between the hotels is. And also that also justify the price. When you stay in PARKROYAL Collection, you stay in Pan Pacific Service Suites. Now, what is our unique selling point? The both buildings are connected.
Okay.
So if you stay in the Pan Pacific Service Suite, you can also use the facilities of PARKROYAL Collection.
I see. All right, right. And at which floor and how is the two complexes connected?
Basically on the ground floor.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you come to the ground floor, you either turn right to go to the driveway exit, or you go left, you take the walkway to go to the main lobby of PARKROYAL Collection.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's extremely well designed, well structured to make the entire customer journey extremely seamless.
Really nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And so for 2023, what can people expect? What can your guests expect in terms of customer experience, guest experience at both these brands?
I have to say the business has incredibly bounced back pretty fast. I think all the hotels in Kuala Lumpur are enjoying very good occupancy, particularly in the month of December, which is extremely encouraging. And I think it gives also the opportunity to all the hotels, and for us, of course, we are in a startup mode, to refine their teams, focus on the training, focus on people development, and we're looking at the different value propositions that every hotel has. So if you come from PARKROYAL Collections, when we designed the business model, it was very important to have unique selling points and key facilities. So Time, our restaurant, it was really created to be a key player in the cuisine and dining experience in Kuala Lumpur. And the response has been absolutely amazing, not just for the seafood over the weekend, but also for the high Malaysian IT and other private events that we can host. And then we welcome all diverse clientele, business people, leisure people. As the border more and more, come with more tourists, I think our family experiences with the Team Family Suites that we've created is extremely successful. Basically, we created a children playground in the family suites.
Right.
And that's an absolutely fantastic product. I think when also China will reopen the borders, those products will definitely be a very high demand.
Right. And how many of those do you have?
At the moment, we only have 10. Like I say, we are very scalable, so we wanted to go on a sort of taste in the market. Right. And of course, you realize during a busy family weekend, not enough. So these are all points for future investment we want to consider. Yeah.
Right. Nice. And definitely because Christian has opened up 2 brands in 6 months, during the pandemic. We'd like to get a little few tips from him. So what are the key things in getting it right when it comes to hotel opening? And especially during pandemic. What are your thoughts? What are the key things in getting it right?
I think first of all, you need to understand the market you operate in. There is no point to put together a concept or a business model if it does not really reflect what the local market as a start requires. Then, of course, you need to understand the destination, and understand how this destination will grow over the next few years. Of course, for us, opening during pandemic, we can only rely on certain history data. For myself in Malaysia, I've been in the country for quite a few years, so I'm quite familiar with how Malaysia is as a destination and how the local market likes and dislikes and all that. This is very important. That's very critical, because by understanding those, you can then put the business model together. Third is really about the positioning.
The brand positioning.
The brand positioning. And for us, having 2 brands under the same roof, of course, makes it even more important, because the differentiator has to be there. If we talk about the word luxury, for everybody has the same meaning, correct? But when you look about collection on Pan Pacific, actually the meaning is slightly different. And also the way you explain to the customer for them to understand. Yeah.
So it's really clearly defined. Where they know what it is. Yeah.
And then, for us during pandemic, like I said before, we learned there's never right or wrong. There's calculated assumptions. Yeah. So many things we have done and projected over the very long hours of Zoom meetings, Microsoft Teams meetings. It's about really putting together the pieces of the puzzle to be able to open the hotel. One thing I've learned is that during pandemic, more than any other times, having the right people in your team is absolutely critical. Basically, if you remember, there was a lockdown for 3 months over the summer months. We basically projected a hotel through the screen. So to do that, we go back to the origins of knowing what you are doing. A restaurant is a restaurant, correct? Yeah. How you design a kitchen is a design in a kitchen. Yeah. So it's very important is spending time on those small details, because once you open, if the details are not there, that's where you have the challenges.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's been one of the learning points of opening restaurant, designing the bar, everything else. Yeah.
Lovely, right? And what would be your words of wisdom to young hoteliers, young aspiring general managers? What would be your thoughts that you'd like to share with them?
For young hoteliers, inspiring general manager, it's a fantastic industry. I think it's an industry, as you explore it, that you go deep into it, you realize it's got lots of rewarding parts. And you meet different kind of people every day. Yeah. It can be your own people, it can be the customer, it can be the supplier, the stakeholders. And you really learn how to deal with people at different level, in different way, and particularly how to deal with different cultures as well. I think that's one of the crucial points, especially for expatriates like myself, traveling in different countries. I think one of the things I learned is how to be humble and to be able to learn and to change before asking others to change. I think that the industry is gone through a very tough times. I think it made everybody stronger. It also made everybody wiser. Yeah. in a sense that nowadays, especially when you put concept or you do projects, I think you think twice about certain things or risks you want to take. That applies at every level. It applies, of course, to the owners who are investing.
Yeah.
And it applies yourself as a manager who makes recommendations to ensure these are calculated recommendations. And you also explain the plus and minuses that such a business venture may bring. Yeah. And then I think very important is, of course, invest in the people. I think I have to say, to be able to build a scalable operation, to have a strong leadership team like the one that we have, it's been a crucial winning point. Yeah, because as we know, recruitment shortage of talents is a challenge in the industry as a whole.
Yes.
So but when you have a strong leadership team, you can cruise through and you can do a selection of the talents and you still achieve the goals because they are strong, they know what they are doing. Yeah.
Nice. Very, very wise advice. And, you know, I think it's not rocket science, but yet, you know, it's the finer details, it's the things that people just can't or don't see sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes as obvious sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Well, two things. Name two things, Christian, that you would like to change if you coming to 2023. Two things you would like to change about, you know, what you can contribute towards the industry, you know.
I think maybe it's not much about change because we've already changed enough for the past two years. We have to change the way we do things. And I think, first of all, is to monitor how the business is going to evolve. That is going to evolve at every segment. I mean, we have still not seen a big international conventions in the city. Some, yes, have already come back, but the big one, no. So how is that going to weigh the different way we're going to meet their needs and all that? I think it's more about contributing. So I think for Pan Pacific, especially for the brand itself, to be back in Malaysia, it's very important because we are very happy really to contribute to the recovery of the industry. And we're very happy to be one of the leading players together with many other brands which are already present in Kuala Lumpur. For a destination really to evolve, of course, you need events.
Yes.
You need big conventions. You need the unique selling points. Malaysia has many of those.
Yeah.
I mean, just the beautiful places at the beach, the shopping, the food. There is a culture. And that's a great selling point for Malaysia. And the other one is special events, of course. Yeah, big special events which can drag international attention. So we are ready to work with different entities, organizations, to contribute, to give our say. And we are ready. I mean, we are ready anytime. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much, Christian,
You're
for sharing
welcome.
with us. You know, I mean, it's been really good to see all the hotels opening up, coming back. And like you said, you know, the hospitality spirit is back and now it's just going upwards.
Yeah. It's been very much in the past 3 months, especially. Which is great to see because people are more motivated, happy. And
see all the smiles.
Yeah, I mean the beautiful food. I mean with the Michelin stars just arrived in Malaysia is fantastic. This is all a plus point.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And we're looking forward to 2023 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, so thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jennifer.
I'm here with Christian Nannucci, Complex General Manager of PARKROYAL Collection Kuala Lumpur and Pan Pacific Service Suites. And we will catch you at more episodes that we'll be producing on Hospitality Asia channel. See you then.